SwinRadio.
This is the Plot Thickens with Cassie and Amy on SwinRadio. This is Cassie.
And this is Amy.
And it's 3 p.m. and you're listening to the Plot Thickens on SwinRadio.
We read and discuss creative writing live on air every Tuesday at 3 p.m.
I'm sorry.
How many times have we done this at this point?
Well, the microphone is in my face this time, so I can't read word for word exactly what I'm saying to a T.
Well, as discussed, it is a shared document, so you can open it on your own laptop.
God, you want me to do everything?
Are you serious?
It's a long-running theme that I do nothing on this podcast except show up, and Amy does literally everything else.
Yeah, that's okay. It works best that way. Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
I appreciate you.
Thanks. You can show it in other ways other than touching my leg.
I touched your arm first.
Yeah, they're testing the boundaries.
Yeah, and then we said no, I figured I could go further, you know?
Yeah.
After all this talk about consent we've had over, like, the past episodes and how people should respect it,
Yeah.
I've really learnt that, writing is, you know...
Where are you going with this?
Like a cat, I kind of got distracted by pulling my headphone wire, and I, forgot that I was talking.
Yeah.
And it was a really bad time to stop talking because I was making, a sarcastic joke.
Yeah. And then you just stopped.
And I stopped talking and got distracted. You can tell I'm, out of my meds.
Yeah. What have we got today, Cassie?
Today, we are reading I Woke Up Today with No Face by Brad Whittingham.
Yeah.
A creative writing swimman student.
Yes, and this piece is also on The Burn, which you can go check out under the creative writing tab.
It very much is. And then if you wanted to see any more of Brad's work, on Instagram, it's _B_witty, WHITTY.
On Instagram, and I will also put that in the link on the YouTube video on Sway Jesus on youtube.com.
Uh-huh.
Why'd you do that? What the hell? Do you want to... Cassie's reading the piece today.
I am, but that's why I'm procrastinating so much. Because it's a lot of big words.
We're getting the whiteboard back up. Do you want me to count how many times you mess up again?
I already know I'm going to mess up a few. Actually, my goal today is one. Because there's one word I know I will stumble on.
Okay.
The rest of them...
Mm-hmm.
Liquefaction is there.
Okay.
So when I get to liquefaction, I'm going to absolutely nail it.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm so ready for that.
Be shocked. Hold up your hands just to put no fingers down.
Okay.
I'm going to crush this.
Okay.
All right. This is Woke Up Today with No Face by Brad Whittingham. I woke up today with no face. I'd be lying if I said I only noticed it in the bathroom mirror. Admittedly, I woke up most mornings or afternoons grasping for it, cutting to the punchline. Still, the red-white bone and distant, unblinking eyes never fail to chill me to my core. I tried to start the day right, really did. The all-too-hot weather scored my tattered flesh, thin ribbons and congealed worms of blood mingled with the liquefaction and bile and slipped down the shower drain. I could barely stand for the first few minutes. Scalding water poured across my raw viscera and bone, and grotesque muck leaked from the twisting caverns and tunnels that tore through my body like a war zone. I wondered if I'd be a tragic victim or the crazed monster in a horror movie. Probably both. Call me Frankenstein's monster. I almost snapped something in my knees as I got out of the shower and noticed a distant click with each step as I scampered to my bedroom. I tend to get antsy after a week, let alone a month, without seeing for myself if it had gotten worse. Oh my God.
Do you need me to take over?
No, I can do it. I opened the camera app on my phone and tore a tendon in my neck with how fast I recoiled, throwing my phone at the wall to distance myself from the brown-yellow bone and shriveled, beady eyes. I practically collapsed into myself as I clattered to the ground, receding into myself as I decided that today was too much, that it was enough trying for today. The next day, I woke up with a storm in my veins and wildfire in my brain. It was noon by the time I could sit up without feeling like I wasn't going to throw up. And it was another hour before my body had calmed the bearable tremor. My phone buzzed with birthday messages, emails, and an invite to a housewarming party later tonight. 2 birds, 1 stone. Trying to allow myself to fully feel my frustration only flared the fire in my head, and I was quite the psycho-arsonist. My daily shower expelled twice as much purification than usual, and forced me to my knees as I writhed through the racking agony of it all. I stepped out of the shower half-stunned, struggling to catch my breath. Suffice to say, I avoided reflective surfaces for the day. Regardless of my condition, I forced putty and clay onto my body, spending hours meticulously forming myself into a simulacrum of a distant memory. I dressed myself nicely, with 2 pairs of singlets underneath and twice the bandages just in case, and used up the rest of the deodorant I had to hopefully mask the fated haze that clung to me. My phone would occasionally buzz. My friends teased me about some guys they were inviting, broad-shouldered, friendly, confident, and for sure a straight ally, a gay man's worst nightmare. But I wouldn't dare pursue anyone in my current state. My league was graveyard workers, morticians, and pseudo-necrophiliacs. Not my type. I was dropped off right before 8 with a few guava cruisers already flushing my cheeks. Friends greeted me warmly at the door with far more enthusiastic birthday wishes than they gave on Facebook, and set to work introducing me to the people I didn't know already. Some were playing pool or beer pong with those red college cups. They were the guys that my friends had teased me about, and for good reason. They were some of the kindest men I'd ever met. And there were work friends who were much older and far less progressive in their beliefs, who spoke openly about how the world was turning to shit. We would have agreed, just not on the specifics. One of them I recognized from my previous party, who had asked me if I used a dildo, and who the woman was in my relationship at the time.
We're gonna hold up for a second. We forgot to do trigger warnings.
Oh my god! God damn it.
God damn it. Trigger warning for gore, bigotry, and allegories to depression and suicide.
And gay people.
And gay people, yeah.
Look out for them. Sorry,
Continue.
That's a bad joke.
Yeah.
I'm gay.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it okay to say. But.
We're both queer. Just to be clear.
What'd you call me? I see she intercepted me, and I'm just thinking of you now.
Why?
She intercepted me is the next line. Stop talking. Go
Didn't say a damn thing.
One of them I recognized from my previous party who had asked me if I used a dildo and who the woman was in my relationship at the time. She intercepted me and we immediately picked up where we left off. Oh my god, where was the guy you were with last time? Oh shit, did you guys break up? I'm so sorry. Wait, was it like Heartstopper where he wasn't out yet? Wait, are you bi or pan or gay? Or like, wait, you're not trans, are you? I feel like I'd be able to tell. Hang on, does it make you pan if you'd fuck a guy who has a vagina? She proceeded to go on about genital preferences for 5 solid minutes before one of her friends came over. I mouthed a thank you and received a wide-eyed, hurried nod in response. As the hours went by, I hadn't realized how fast I was drinking until a friend swept over and saved me from a very one-sided, deep and meaningful. Hey man, are you good? He pointed at me. To my drink, I thought. Yeah, but I'm empty. I swished the can next to my face with a wide smile and felt something move in my false face more than it should have. He paused and choked out a nervous chuckle. Yeah, I meant that. He lowered his finger to my stomach. My blue shirt was dark and sodden. I felt my face sag. I ran to the bathroom. My stomach rebelled as I got to the sink. A murky pitch forced itself out of me. My stomach ached with a cocktail of alcohol and cheap Willie's party pies. My head all too hot as the wildfire returned. I barely managed to pry my shirt off without tearing it. The now black fabric that was once 2 singlets had began to intertwine and fall apart. My false face cracked and crumbled, any attempts I made to work it back into place just making it worse. The bathroom door slammed open as the woman from before rushed in and bumped into me, before staggering backwards with an abject horror. What the actual fuck? She swung around as she emptied her guts into the sink. Whoa, that's... what? Her friend from before stood in the doorway, eyes wide and mouth agape. Others began to pop their heads in, first on them, then me. Each had a similar response. Dude, holy shit, you need to go to the hospital, I heard a friend say. Fuck, what the fuck? Said another, a true poet. My eyes burned, everywhere burned. I was drunk on lightning and wildfire. I practically fell out of the doorway as I stumbled out into the brisk morning air. I shut the door behind, but it stopped short. One of the broad guys from before had squeezed halfway through.
Hey, man.
He almost tripped down the stairs, his beer bottle firm in his grip.
Did you want to talk about it?
I refused to turn around. It would be an insult. No, thanks, but maybe not tonight. My legs brimmed with static. I swallowed the instinct to run. The guy closed the distance between us.
That's fine, man. I don't know your situation or anything, but I know when I was struggling, speaking to someone helped.
What was it about alcohol that turned all straight guys into fonts of sappy wisdom? I dared to face him. He gave a strained smile, the kind a friend gives you when you've just told them something deeply confronting but vulnerable, and plucked his nose from his face. I stared for far too long.
Sometimes it's a bit messier, but just remember, you're not alone, yeah?
He patted my back and gave me a warm smile before returning his prosthetic nose to his face and walked back up to the party. I tried to take the wisdom on board, but to be honest, I just felt bad for wasting his time and vulnerability. When I got home, I decided that today was too much. That was enough trying for today. Liquid death seeped into my body and fused my back with the fibers of my bed sheets. I swallowed and choked back blood and bile. My lungs roared with each breath I took, like I was breathing shards of glass. My legs slow, but below the knees, like roadkill in a slow cooker left far too long. The only thing I was thankful for was that my olfactory nerves had disintegrated, but I still gagged and retched black viscous sludge whenever a functional sense registered a new grotesque experience being produced by my living corpse. I refused to touch my phone. Doing so would topple the intricate, curated narrative I had held on to them dearly, because I knew the truth was much simpler. Instead, I drifted in and out of consciousness, barely comprehending my waking hours. I woke up Friday, the same. I did a hazard test at my phone. Messages, missed calls filled my notifications. The wildfire had receded and gave way to shame as I realized the propaganda I had constructed had believed. I woke up Saturday and messaged a few friends back. They asked me how I was doing and how long all of this had been going on for. I decided it was too much to answer and indulged in my sleep. Because the truth was always the most embarrassing thing to admit. That this had been happening for years now, and that the routine became so ingrained that I had forgotten that I had survived this time and time again. I had forgotten that, despite how my body ached or fell apart, that in a day or a week or a month, there would come a day when my legs would be back without that annoying click, my chest bruised but whole, my brain quiet and cold. And maybe, just maybe, if I remembered that courage is not action without fear, but action despite it. That hope is not an imperial grace, but an inexorable tenacy. That vulnerability is not guiding a blade to your heart, but showing full-chested that when it strikes, you will survive. That I may wake up one day with a face.
And that was I Woke Up Today with No Face by Brad Whittingham.
Yay!
Yay!
You
were killing it.
I think I killed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Killed.
What is going on with you today? Jesus Christ. Oh my god.
Did I read any of that correct?
There was a point where you were getting you were like, bam, bam,
I
bam.
was absolutely crushing it, and
like,
then at the end I got confused again.
There were a
so
lot
many
of big words.
Also, I had to transcribe this myself to a different page, so a lot of the times when I wasn't sure about a word, I got in my own head because I was like, did I write it down wrong?
Oh, right, yeah.
So that's why I looked at you and I saw olfactory. I was like, I don't know what that word means. I wonder if it's something else.
Well, that's the way it was written in here.
Yeah. I think this was written a while ago. I think there are a few, grammatical
Yeah, this was written second semester last year. Last semester.
Yeah, and to my belief, I don't think it's been touched too much since then.
Yes, Brad did say that. He hasn't
And
really
there
gone
are
over it.
some places where, like, writing just isn't filled in completely that I found.
I like why.
Where it says...
Sorry, I'm making you look for it now.
Here we go. As the hours went by, I hadn't realised how fast I was drinking until friend swept over and saved me from a very one-sided, deep and meaningful.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I assume they meant to say how fast hadn't realised how fast I was drinking until a friend swept over and saved me from a very one-sided, deep and meaningful conversation.
Yeah, I mean, people do refer it to as a deep and meaningful.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know slang.
Yeah, that's, let me bring up, one of our viewers, Brian, who often will have a big, deep and meaningful, at events.
Name check.
Yeah.
Shout out, Brian.
Yeah. He's not going to listen to this episode either, and I'm going to know, because he's not going to mention the fact that he got name dropped.
That breaks my heart.
Yeah, it breaks my heart too.
Sad times.
Brian,
man.
if you're listening, you're breaking our freaking hearts,
You're
man.
breaking our freaking hearts,
What
Brian.
the hell?
Listen to our podcast, please. I thought you were
And everyone else too.
and everyone else too, but
Nah, we do this for Brian.
shout out all the Bryans out there. We do this podcast for the Bryans. We're
Yeah.
actually changing the name from the Plot Thickens to Please
Brian
Listen, Brian.
Thickens?
No,
I didn't know where you were going
no,
with
no,
that.
no, 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 no.
What did you say?
What is going on with you? Sorry, you scared me.
Why? What is happening?
Moving on.
What the hell?
Moving on.
Okay.
Why don't you start?
Okay. I'm happy to.
Just giving you like a face full of fear.
Yeah, I don't understand what. Whatever. My first thing is that this reminded me a lot of a short story that was actually in one of the first year creative writing units. I don't know if it still is, but it was when I did it. Which is Set Store by Zara Butcher McGonigal. It just reminded me so much of it. Did you ever read that one?
You know I didn't.
True. Okay.
Can you describe to me what the
I can.
what the
If
similarities kind of are?
Yeah, it's just like the very blunt way of.
Like the kind of body horror?
Kind of. Like there was no body horror in this one, in Zara Butcher McGonigal's story, but
Is that a creative writing student or is that a like
no, it's
reading that was
yeah, it was a reading that
Okay.
we had to do. There's no internet up here. That's awesome. Just the very blunt way that everything is described, and in such a
informal tone?
yeah, and I guess in a very dissociative state as well from both narrators. It's a really good read if anyone wants to look at it.
I did not view this as a dissociative state at all. And if anything,
I guess more of like a not really dissociative. That was the wrong word to use, but like
I see it as kind of like a hyperfixated state.
oh, okay. I guess more of like a everything sucks right now and I'm so depressed, but I literally just have to keep going because
Okay.
life moves on and I also have to move with it. And that's sort of like I guess like a cog in the machine, you have to keep going no matter what you're going through. That sort of state. But you can't. You like literally just can't.
Yeah,
It's very simple.
I will say it's at particularly the end, like the final kind of few sentences about like I'll wake up one day and maybe it won't feel so bad is a very real, I think, like train of thought when it comes to like depressive episodes.
Yeah.
Like I know very much like in my episodes that is what it feels like. Like you wake up and you're like maybe today is like the day it will like feel good, and then it doesn't, and you're like well maybe tomorrow. And you're kind of like waiting for the day.
Literally just having to be like, okay, well today sucks, but
Maybe tomorrow. Yeah, and these like cycles. So I know I read it really horribly because there's a lot of big words.
No, you killed it.
But the end I think is like my favorite part of the story because of that kind of real description of like mental health and how it, you know, at the end of the story it's not like he got better or he opened up to anybody. It was just kind of the being resigned to know that like you continue, but maybe one day you'll wake up and feel good. Because I think that's like a very real experience. It's not all just like you come to a conclusion and it's great.
Yeah, it's slow.
It's slow and it's hard.
Yeah.
And you lose hope a lot of the time. All you can hope for is that it will get better.
Yeah. But in terms of the short story I'm referencing, because there's a lot of gore and body horror in Brad's piece. And it just reminded me a lot of sort of some of the lines here from this story. I just had it before. Oh, 1 second. I have to keep this like far away from me. Oh, here we go. I can feel my baby eating and shitting inside of me. Like, that sort of like very blunt, straight to the point, like uncomfortable things to read. Just reminded me a lot of that piece.
Yeah, I like that too. I think when people do body horror, it's more, and there is a lot of it where it's like the description of like body horror of like what it looks like, but there are those like much shorter sentences that's just like kind
Straight
of gruesome and like, shocking.
Yeah. Which I feel like a lot of in here also works well. It does get very descriptive at some points.
Yeah.
But even just like, where was it? When someone comes up to him
with the nose.
And felt something move in my false face. Like even that just feels like, ugh.
Yeah, kind of like something beneath the skin, almost.
Yeah, beneath the clay and the... Yeah, I thought that was...
I am interested how you viewed, like, the kind of clay metaphor.
As in, like, what I thought it was a metaphor for?
Yeah.
I mean, I think a big one is that it's masking. Like, literally putting on a mask to pretend like you're okay. I feel like it would definitely... could have been for a lot of things. Self-harm I also saw it as, especially in that bathroom scene where everyone's coming in and is like, what the fuck? Like, what is that? I'm quoting it. I didn't just swear. I'm quoting what was actually in the story. We don't swear. I was quoting.
This podcast. It's a Christian podcast.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about, like, kind of the self-harm aspect of it. I kind of saw it as, like, especially in the bathroom scene, just someone who's, like, crying, I suppose.
Oh, okay.
Because, in a way, like, the masculinity is brought up a lot in this piece, and specifically for, like, gay men, and this kind of, I don't know, this more, like, you know, broad-shouldered, more masculine, intense testosterone, but also, like...
Who are straight allies.
Yeah. But also, like, this kind of kindness of them, and, like, their leniency to be more, like, nice when they're drunk. So I kind of viewed it as, like, this moment of kind of breaking from that mold where they see, like, another man kind of in pain, and they're like, this is an opportunity where I can help out. Or just someone being hurt.
Okay.
So I kind of, especially with, like, the mask, like, cracking and falling and everything.
Yeah.
And it's, like, his, like, real self kind of being exposed for being, like, damaged and kind of broken in a way.
Yeah. I mean, that also adds to my whole thing. I mean, I don't think it was a metaphor for self-harm. That was just, like, the first thing that came to my head. Just with the, dude, you need to go to the hospital, like, kind of thing. And having to, like, physically cover it up, like, putting on extra layers to cover yourself up. Like, that also made me think of that.
When I first read it, I thought he got stabbed.
Oh.
Like, I don't know why, but it was, like, the thing in the stomach, and
The lady stabbed him.
I thought someone stabbed him, or, like, he stabbed himself or something.
Right, okay.
I don't know why. It was, like, it's kind of a gruesome thought, but I guess it's a gruesome story.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is that he is... Is it, like, no skin? Because that's how I imagine him. Like, no skin at all. Like, literally just, like, tissue and bone
I kind of imagined his skin to look a bit like butter or, like, wax.
Oh, okay. Because there's especially the part at the end which disgusting imagery, by the way. Good job, Brad. Like, like, himself, like, sticking to the fibers of his sheets.
Yeah, that's what I imagined to be his skin, like, sticking to it.
Yeah, well, I imagine that, except like
the tissue beneath?
Like a Titan from Attack on Titan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's why he has to, like, cover his whole body in clay.
Interesting.
Is that the clay is, like, replacing his skin. Yeah.
I love body horror, by the way. I feel like we didn't really touch on that, like your perspective on body horror. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to read and write and see in art.
Yeah, I do like it when it's done well, is my thing. Which I feel like it was done well in this piece.
What makes it, like, done well to you?
Again, the subtlety of it, I feel like. When you really try to, like, convince your audience that something is disgusting and scary, it loses all flair of that. Simple lines, like, about the skin attaching to the fibers of... Because, again, that's stuck in my mind because that's disgusting. Things like that are really just, like, done so well for this piece, I feel like.
I think what makes it good is, like, the kind of dysphoria of it all and how it kind of can be projected onto, like, actual humans. I don't know how deep Brad got into this because I know that he is writing from his own experiences, and I don't want to expose myself too much. But when you're in a state of really deep depression and you're kind of bedrotting, you do get to this state where, like, things, like, stick to you, and it is kind of like a weird sensation. And I don't know, but that's what I picked up when I read that line, which I guess is why I read a little less than, like, the tissue thing.
Like hygiene sense?
Yeah, like sweat and, like, just general.
You feel gross.
You
like
also, you kind of, when you're at a point where, like, you can't get up, you kind of, like, sink into the bed almost.
Yeah.
And, like, you kind of feel like a rock, like, kind of sunken into, like you feel like you're kind of molding into the bed.
Yeah.
Or molding into whatever surface you're laying in.
Yeah.
When you get that depressed. So, like, I kind of viewed it a little bit as that, and how you almost feel, like, attached to those things, like,
yeah,
in a way.
I could definitely see.
Yeah, but that's the part of the body horror that I really like, when, like, you can see, kind of like Uncanny Valley, you can see human things in it, but it's not a human thing.
Yeah.
That's what I really like, and I think it's done
personification.
Extremely well. Personification. I love personification. And then another example of that is, like, literally at the start when he's talking about, like, pouring the water over himself.
Yeah.
And it's, like, burning his skin off and, like, melt. Like, I love that so much because that's how it feels. Like, this ability to, like, write something horrific but just know that it's how it feels is, like, so good.
Yeah. I mean, again, with the whole, like, hygiene thing, because, again, like, when I've also gone through episodes, I feel disgusting, which also makes me feel worse, obviously. But, yeah, like, thin ribbons and congealed worms of blood.
That's my favorite line of the piece. Congealed worms of blood. Like...
Ooh, do you want to know my favorite line? Okay. Sorry, you keep going.
I was kind of at the end of it there. But that kind of description, I love. I love descriptions about, like, worms and, like, things beneath your skin. I don't know if anyone's listened to Magnus Archives, but there's, like...
I haven't. I want to.
A character where there's, like, bugs and worms beneath her skin. And I'm like, I love that so much. It's so disgusting.
Yeah.
And, like, because you feel like you're being, like, eaten alive almost. Like, it feels a bit, like, metaphorical of someone, like, eating themselves alive from the inside.
Yeah.
And stuff, like, bursting free, but it also being, like, rotten and decayed inside, and, like, this fake performance of life, which feels like what this is.
Isn't there a bug that, like, gets under your skin, lays eggs under your skin, and then the bugs, like, eat you alive from in there?
Maybe. I know there's a horror story about that, of, like, the spider laying eggs, like, behind the girl's eye.
Ew.
It's like an old wives' tale, I think. Yeah. What was your favorite line?
Yeah. My league was graveyard workers, morticians, and pseudo-necrophiliacs. Not my type. I just really liked that.
I like it too.
I thought it added a lot to the...
I think it adds a lot in how they view themselves and, like, what they're kind of worthy of.
Yeah. Like the, self-deprecation.
Yeah.
Of being like, your league is so low that it's pseudo-necrophiliacs, which also adds to the point of him feeling like not even like a person alive.
Yeah, and I feel like another sentence that really gets that is, like, I feel bad for wasting his time and his vulnerability. Like, because that's such a real feeling as well. It's like, when you're opening up, you're like, I'm wasting this person's time. This person doesn't care. And not only am I wasting their time, I'm wasting their, like, effort and care on, like, me, who's not going to take it or accept it. It's, like, a very self-deprecating and very, like, low thing to think. But it is very real. And I was going to say before, it's like, really good on Brad on like putting these into words, but it's not even putting it into words because these are just the words that you think, and they're not dressed up and they're not polished. They're just genuinely written like raw on a plate.
Yeah.
And it's very real, and I really like it because a lot of the time when you're writing these kind of like vulnerable things, it can be hard to kind of just put it down like what it feels like, and you kind of dress it up or use metaphors or use all this stuff, but this genuinely is what it feels like. I mean, maybe not for everyone. Well, definitely not for everyone. People struggle differently. But I don't know. Maybe I just saw a lot of myself kind of in this experience, in this piece.
I'm trying to think. There's a term used to describe, like... Because I've been having to use it for my stuff because I'm discussing, like, grief. It's, like, trying to describe a situation or a thing that is so hard to describe. Like, putting words towards it. I don't know. I can't think of the term, but it's like that, where it's such a state of mind that's so hard to actually encapsulate. Yeah.
What else you've written down?
What else have I written down? That's a great question.
In your little book.
One thing I do want to mention is that there's a lot of metaphors within this one story. Because how many words is it? It is
1,600.
Yeah. It's about 1,600.
1,600.
1,600. There is a lot of metaphors. I just feel like, unless the whole idea is that there's so many metaphors that it's like trying to make the piece more confusing, or like you're so out of like your own body and your own state of mind that like, what am I saying? I just feel like in order to make the flow a little bit better, maybe affording to get rid of some of the metaphors.
I get what you're saying, because to me, I felt like the piece was very, for lack of a better term, like you said before, very dissociated in the beginning and at the end, but then in the middle,
it's very self-aware.
It's very self-aware. And I guess there's a logic in that, because a lot of the time when you are depressed, you do have to just go out and like you were saying, you have to mask.
Yeah.
But you're not really as self-aware as he seems like he was, where he was just like getting drunk and was able to kind of forget it for a while until he was reminded of it. Like, it kind of is something that just continually, like, happens beneath the surface.
Yeah.
So a little bit, either, like, completely leaning into the metaphor or affording to lose a few of the metaphors would make it flow better.
Or you could use the character's drunk state of mind and just absolutely bombard it with metaphors to show just how removed he is, finally, from not feeling so self-aware, like finally feeling like he can enjoy himself, and there's all these metaphors, and then boom, you have to go straight back to real life, and it's all like very blunt and straight to the point again.
Yeah, because I was a little like, I thought it was like a very interestingly written piece, and then it like just suddenly changed tone completely. And maybe that's the point, but also it might be that's the pointing myself into like a wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did kind of get like a little taken off guard, and then it went immediately back into it. Which I guess leads to the point of the story is like, what are you trying to tell with this story? Because it doesn't really go anywhere, which I know I said before I liked that. And I do like it. I do like that there's not just like a cookie cutter clean ending.
Like, oh, I feel better now.
Yeah, I feel better now, or I know what to do to make myself feel better.
Oh, I have a face again.
Yeah, I have a face again.
Yeah.
But I would have liked a little more change, like, within the story for the character.
Okay.
I feel like there wasn't that much development, because I don't believe this is part of a longer story, so what we see is presumably all we get of the story. I would have liked some kind of revolution, but I understand if it's a story about kind of like hopelessness, but to me it doesn't read as that.
No, it didn't to me either, especially with the moving of the prosthetic nose.
Yeah, and I think I said this to you before we read the piece, but there's a lot of times where kind of metaphor and reality gets kind of mixed within this piece. The first one is when the girl comes into the bathroom and it says she pukes out her guts, which is a very common phrase, just means she's throwing up a lot. But with all the other body language, puking up the guts has a different kind of meaning. And then the guy with the prosthetic nose, again, literally just has a prosthetic nose, but within the context of the piece, when he's constantly removing or molding features of his own face, it has this different meaning of him maybe being able to recognize that other people also have these struggles.
Yeah.
And like other people are also kind of like losing pieces of himself, and he's not alone in that sense.
Yeah.
So for those reasons, it doesn't feel like a piece of hopelessness to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely, especially with the prosthetic nose, it's a thing of like encouraging people to seek help. Because obviously he's just having to like mold his face together with clay. This guy has a whole prosthetic. Like, he's gone to get help to get this prosthetic to keep his face together. Whereas the main character has to do it all himself.
And even in that sense, the guy with the prosthetic nose was able to like take it off and put it on.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he's completely healed, but he's stable enough to like confront those things and not have it break him.
Yeah.
So yeah, just with that, I wish there was a little more development within the story. Especially at the end, it felt like it was like really getting to something when it comes to the whole like, maybe I can wake up tomorrow and like with a face and it won't feel so tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Just like I wish there was
it's also hard to do because you don't want to just end it with, and then I booked a therapy appointment. Like,
yay! And then I went to therapy.
Then I got medicated.
Yeah, it's hard to give workshopping on this piece because I just really, really like it.
I do really like it too, and it's
as it is.
Also looking at something it's such a universal experience, but it's also such an individual experience because everyone deals with it in different ways. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the gender dysphoria aspect of the piece.
Oh, yeah.
Which felt very subtle, but still saw some of it. Obviously, we established, the whole thing about masculinity. Being a gay guy, obviously, masculinity is viewed in a different way compared to all the broad-shouldered men. So there's already that aspect of, I guess, not feeling like a man. That's not obviously said, but there was the one line from the lady that he was talking to that was also put in italics, which I really liked in the piece, just to really hone in on that. But wait, you're not a trans, are you? Which is interesting to add. I mean, it does add to the whole, what does it say up here? Oh, I really need to start highlighting things on these.
Is it the woman in the relationship line?
No. It was the, just having not as progressive opinions on things. Where was I going with that? Do you remember, Cassie?
I don't remember, no. But I can fill in space if you try to remember what you
Go for it.
Because I think I bringed up dysphoria before.
You bringed up.
I brought up dysphoria before, and how I think this piece is kind of like a hyperfixation on dysphoria, and how you're so aware of your body, but because it feels wrong, like the whole sensory descriptions of like, your skin melting off or like your face like peeling, all those things are hyperfixations on like body dysphoria. And that doesn't need to be a trans allegory. A lot of cis people and a lot of trans people outside of being trans have body dysphoria, but it is a very trans experience.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting to also add with the trans line as well, because it can be read like that.
It can be, especially because there's no pronouns put on this character. There is the only line that establishes the gender is when he kind of breaks the fourth wall a bit with his line, "A gay man's worst nightmare," which kind of comes with the implication that the story's been told from the perspective of a gay man. And also, who the woman was in my relationship at the time. Yeah, but both of those still are implications. It's not spelled out that this is a man or a gay man, even though very clearly is. So I guess that can be another kind of nod towards a trans allegory, if that's what you were kind of bringing up. Yeah, or even just someone who's not completely comfortable in their masculinity or in their body.
Yeah, which is what I was saying before about being a gay man in general, especially surrounded by broad-shouldered, straight allied men. But yeah, I just thought it was another interesting take to have on it. A gender, looking at it through a gender lens. I don't know. It's been a while since I've done Year 12 literature and did that stuff. But yeah, and also just the whole aspect of not feeling like you're in the right body, just in general, I feel like is also a part of it. I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting thing to also add to it. Yeah. Did you have any other thoughts?
I don't think so.
Okay. I did have a nitpicky thing that I actually did discover while we were reading, which is that it is broke up. You wrote broke up, and it needs to be break up. Just mentioning that now while I see it. I feel like the piece is still very well written. But I feel like, again, I feel like I do this every week, but for the sake of flow and not giving too much information, show not tell, is there are some comments that can afford to be left out of the piece. There was one I saw before. That just give away too much info that is immediately told in the next line. Oh, and it was the one I was talking about before, which is about the woman. I'm moving the microphone. It's going to make noise. I'm sorry. I'm really trying to find it. There were work friends who were much older and far less progressive in their beliefs. I feel like the thing about them being far less progressive in their beliefs can be left out because that is immediately established within the dialogue itself. Also, where it's being pointed out about his shirt. Hey man, are you good? He pointed at me. To my drink, I thought. That can be left out. To my drink, I thought. Because he immediately implies that he's talking about the drink, swishing the drink next to his face. Just little things like that. I mean, also, this was for an assignment, so there's a word count in it. But going back and rewriting it, or, like, editing it, touching it up, lines like that I feel like can be left out because it just, leaves little to the reader to imply instead. And just trusting your audience.
I also like the fire, like, metaphor that was, like, across the whole piece. Like, it started with, like, chill and, like, unblinking eyes. But then it immediately established, like, his brain is like a wildfire. And then it's continuously reused how it feels like his brain is on fire and his, like, cells are being struck with lightning. So I really like that kind of contrast where his body feels almost like hollow and cold, but then every cell in him is like kind of overactive.
Which I also feel like can also be added to the disassociative thing, where it's like your mind and your body feel so different from each other. Yeah, like your brain feels like it's on fire, but your body is like completely fine and cool. Yeah, did you have any other thoughts on that?
Not like necessarily. I do have a few more things about the grammar. Just there was a lot of what are they called, semicolon?
What? I don't remember.
Or maybe just standard colon usage. The ones where it's the two dots that imply the beginning of a list or some kind of category.
Yeah, it's not a semicolon.
Is it just a standard colon?
Is it a colon?
A colon? There are a lot of colons.
Third year creative writing.
Okay. Listen, I didn't go to any of my grammar classes, okay? I just passed like a 50%.
Wow.
There are a lot of colons, which I feel I also use colons a lot in my pieces. They're one of my favorite like punctuation things to use. Are you trying to find it?
I'm trying to, but this is a really weird... I think it's a bit of a corrupted file. I don't really know.
Yeah, the file scared me when I tried to play it.
Yeah, I tried to open it with Google Docs, and it was just like 5 blank pages.
I believe there's like 5 or 6 in the 1,500 word piece, which doesn't feel like a lot, but when you're reading it, it does add up very quickly. And just from someone who also uses who also uses colons, and semicolons, actually. There are a lot of semicolons as well. There's 5 semicolons in this. It's kind of interesting where you use them because semicolons need to be used to kind of integrate 2 sentences that aren't necessarily like together, but the semicolon connects them together. It's like the thing cutting between them, and if there's like nothing between them, it's not clear that it's part of the same sentence. So there's a few times it actually just can be a standard comma, and it doesn't need to be a semicolon. And then for the colons, I actually like how they're used. I like that someone else uses colons like I do, because I use them a lot, and I get told off for it constantly.
Yeah.
They always get removed, and I hate it because colons are amazing to use. They're so much fun.
And I have no comment on this.
Just like, I don't know, I like it because it's like setting up, it's like a setup and a punchline almost when you use it.
Okay,
where you're like, da-na-na-na-na, and then you give the answer like kind of to your own question or for your own ponder. Let me find a place where like Brad actually used it, so I'm not just... yeah, I wondered if I'd be a tragic victim or the crazed monster in a horror movie, probably both. Like, just places like that where people usually wouldn't... Yeah, the guys they were inviting, broad-shouldered, friendly, confident, and for sure a straight ally. Like, when you're giving some kind of description of something, a lot of people don't use semicolons, they'll just use a comma, or they'll just start a fresh sentence. I really like that you're using colons. I see you, man. I love it. It's so frowned upon in writing, which I guess brings us back to the whole, like, grammar, like, part of writing, which we've complained about before.
Who cares about that?
No, we've complained about it before, how, like, there's, like, a right way to cut yourself. I cut myself off. There's, like, a right way to do creative writing, which I don't believe in, because I think grammar adds so much to how you kind of view how a writer makes the piece.
Obviously, to an extent. If there's terrible grammar all throughout your piece to the point where it's unreadable,
then it's bad.
Hey, grammar is actually important.
Grammar is important. But I think it's like, to me, it's like the same as how they use language. Like, it kind of gives character to the writer. There's a lot of commas, there's a lot of colons, semicolons, and, what are they called? Hyphens?
Yeah. Or like M dashes and stuff.
Yeah, M dashes and N dashes and stuff in this piece. And to me, because that's unusual, it stands out as something like interesting and unique towards the piece and how it's written. I
think that's very similar to the way that the piece that I brought up before, Set Store, there's not a lot of commas in it. It's like almost all like full stops or question marks. Like there's barely any commas in it, which I love because I have a vendetta against commas. I hate commas.
I love commas.
I hate commas.
The more commas, the better to me. But yeah, I like how the grammar isn't like particular or like standard of how you do creative writing. To me, it adds like some kind of level of almost strangeness to the piece. Like it makes it feel even more uncanny valley, because I feel like I am reading something, but I'm reading something that's being strangely broken up and constructed in a way that's not like normal, and that's kind of almost how the character views themselves. So even like on a grammatical and like sentence structure level, this piece is kind of breaking from the norm and like portraying something that's unusual.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring that up as well, because I found that really interesting. And it's not something you can see, so I'm sure it's not that interesting to hear about. Yeah. But I think it's interesting to touch on.
But you can see it up on the burn.
That is true.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to touch on because it also influences like the pace that people read at.
Yes.
And stuff like that. This is all stuff no one cares about. I'm like, the pacing and the sentence structure. Everyone's like, shut up.
Nah. Snooze fest.
Snooze fest, boo. But shout out to Brad, because you don't see this stuff when you read it, but it does make reading more interesting, at least in my opinion.
I did want to say, just because we've only got like 11 minutes and I do have 3 more points. 3 more points I want to bring up. I threw my pen. I was so angry.
Angry?
Yeah. About the fact that we only have 11 minutes left. The frick. I would have loved more language on the face. The face not being... I know it says like fake face. I think that's what it was. I would have loved more description on it. Like maybe like seeing through like the hollow eyes of the clay mask, or like...
I would have liked more description on other people's faces.
Oh, yeah. Maybe after the fact that the prosthetic nose, maybe.
Maybe.
But I actually did have a point about that later. But feeling claustrophobic in the mask, like the clay mask and the clay body, I thought also would have been interesting. Like maybe feels himself sweat on like his like naked like skin, because we've established that it hurts when there's like any moisture.
Yeah.
Like feeling that pain within himself still with his entire like body and face mask on. Thought would have been interesting. Just a way to really like reinforce like this isn't like his face and his body. Like this is something that he's putting on that is making him deeply uncomfortable.
And I guess you can bring that up later when the mask is falling off as well, where it's like unmasking can feel like extremely like relieving, but it's also like a very tricky and difficult process to do. Like it hurts.
Especially around a bunch of people you don't really know.
Yeah, or like in a situation where you're not comfortable or like in your kind of right frame of mind.
Or you're kind of forced to because his, what did it say? His shirt is sodden?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he doesn't really have like a choice. Like he just has to go do this.
Yeah.
And then he gets barged in on in the privacy of the bathroom as well.
By this girl.
By a girl. And to bring up as well, the guy at the end, I know it does mention like the group of guys. It would have been interesting to maybe hone in on this one guy that comes out at the end.
Or even just like establish that he recognizes him as one of those guys that he kind of brushed off in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like someone he thought so nothing of.
Or maybe this guy in particular was super nice to him because he brings up the fact that they're like the kindest people he's ever met. And maybe there was this one guy in particular who was the kindest he's ever met. And then I thought it would be interesting to mention that this guy has a perfectly sculpted nose, just to bring it back, to be like, everyone is so like doing so well and I'm the only one suffering this way, and this with this guy's like perfectly sculpted nose, and then the nose is fake.
Yeah, it would be interesting to bring that up like before he has the conversation with the guy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like when he notices him the first time, it could be like, and then the guy with the perfect nose comes outside.
Nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's fake.
It's fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is interesting to have these kind of commentaries because usually that implies like plastic surgery and all that stuff. But in this case, it kind of, I keep knocking this mic. I really hope it's not like boom, boom, boom every time.
Pick up. Thanks for the extra work, by the way.
Yeah, you're so welcome.
She keeps touching me.
He's touching me. I'm not touching you. Does it thing? Oh, yeah. Usually it kind of implies like kind of plastic surgery or insecurity around looks. But in this case, it's like implying covering up or like hiding your depression and how everyone has like different ways of like hiding their mental health. So I really like how it's able to describe a piece completely on appearance. Yeah. And like beauty and like societal beauty and conventional beauty isn't even like a point in this conversation. So I just think it's very... One, interesting to not touch on that because that is such a large part of mental health, but even more impressive because body horror, same as like these kind of metaphors when it comes to plastic surgery and all this stuff and prosthetics, is so commonly used to portray beauty standards. And I feel like that's like, you know, I brought up before our recording that this is very The Substance at the end when she kind of transformed into that monster. So I really like the direction to take this in like a more of a physical manifestation of someone's mental health rather than their like physical appearance.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting and different direction to kind of take this story that I appreciate actually a lot more than if it was about kind of physical beauty, because I feel like that story is kind of been told. Not that it can't be told again, because it's a very important topic.
Tale as old as time.
But I like hearing kind of this side of
Yeah, well, I do also like the physical manifestation of depression because it is a hard thing to hide. Like, it is very physical in the way that it's hard to pretend like you're having a good time when you're not having a good time.
Yeah,
you know?
Which I suppose is why it felt out of place at the party when it seemed like he was having a good time until that happened.
I mean,
which is why I think that
alcohol.
felt a little bit out of place. But I guess people have depression in different ways.
Yeah, and also it's being able to be around other people and stop thinking about it for a second, and then it physically manifests again.
Yeah, when someone points out, like, one thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like when someone says something and it triggers something in your brain. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, actually, I'm having the worst time ever now. Thanks, guys.
Now I'm tipsy and sad.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
Here come the waterworks.
Thanks, Chad.
Yeah. What? Did something happen? Did Chad?
No, Chad just felt like a good name to get mad at.
It did.
Some other names. Jaden.
All the J names. Roll them out.
Josh, Jaden, Jacob, Jeffrey.
Okay.
There's a Jeffrey out there who I'll be mad at one day.
There's a Jeffrey out there that a lot of people are mad at.
Yeah, this goes out to all the Jeffreys. We hate you.
I also wanted to say, I do, because we got 5 minutes. I love the subtle humor that gives the implication also that this is a reoccurrence in the main character's life. Because obviously, if this is the first time this happened, you'd be freaking out. He makes little jokes all throughout. Like, there's one when everyone's in the bathroom. And
I was like a true poet.
Yeah, that line. Yeah. I'm trying to find it just so I can read it. Yeah. Fuck, what the fuck? Another said, a true poet. Like, there's this subtle hint that this has happened before, and I think that really...
you kind of learn to live with it, but it doesn't necessarily mean it gets easier.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think is why I also love the line at the end, where it's like, that I may wake up one day with a face. I feel like... Yeah, just that constantly having to remind yourself, like, it gets better. Like, it will get better. It doesn't feel like that right now.
Yeah,
like, in no way does it feel like that, but it will. And
Yeah.
I will wake up with a face.
The line that cemented it for me was I've survived this time and time again.
Yeah.
I had forgotten that. Like, because that's how it feels. Like, when
Yeah,
you hit
you
that depression state,
forget.
you forget that you've, like, survived it. You're like, I can do this again.
Yeah.
And then there's that fear that you'll fall back into it again, which is a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
I actually realized with 4 minutes on the clock that I do have other things to say.
I have one more thing to say as well.
Can I go first?
Go.
I'll be very quick because it's not a conversation, but I am curious about, like, what time frame this is meant to take place in. This guy is assumedly living on his own. I'm assuming he's like 20, 21, and his friends reached out to congratulate him for his birthday on Facebook. So I don't know if that means that Instagram doesn't exist in this world, or if Instagram isn't popular, or if this is, like, back in the day, which, like, I feel like it would be AIM, or, like, is that what it's called? AM? And it says red college cups, which it feels like a very American experience as well. So kind of these ties to, like, location and place I felt were a bit jarring. But if this is an American story set in early 2000s, I guess that makes sense. But it kind of threw me off a bit to see Facebook and then see no other, like, references.
It is an Australian story because it mentions Woolies party pies.
Oh, okay. I don't know why college was
I think
written
it's usually referred to as college cups. Those, like, red plastic cups. A lot of people just refer it to them as college cups. Yeah. Anyways.
then. Red Solo cups, I think.
Go.
Go.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, me? There's the lines at the end. Again, I'm going to say, show, not tell. I love show, not tell. There's the whole lines in this that, obviously, beautiful lines. They're great. I just feel like if you got rid of them, it might make the ending a bit more impactful, which is the whole line from, there would come a day where my legs would be back up until that when it strikes, you will survive. I feel like all of that really is just kind of like beating a dead horse, where it's just implying the same thing.
Yeah.
That the last line implies, which is that I may wake up one day with a face. I feel like just that line does all the work for that.
I do feel like it lagged a bit at the end.
Yeah. But I feel like it is way more impactful with that I may wake up one day with a face, instead of, you know, if I remembered that courage is not action without fear. Like, that's all implied within the one sentence.
Yeah, it's like having the courage to believe that you can wake up with a face. Like, that's all kind of there. And I think at the end I was getting tongue-tied as well because there's so many big words. It's like, I love beautiful written lines, but if you have long, beautiful written lines, one after another, you're like...
Not dyslexic friendly.
You get scared. So if you have one piece that, like, sums it up, I think just stick with that. Especially in a piece where it is, like, simple and classic is better.
Did you have anything quickly until we have 1 minute left?
No, let's just chat.
That was it?
How was your day?
It was good. I saw you all day.
You did see me all day. So that was I Woke Up With No Face. Oh, shout out to the song I Woke Up New by the Mountain Goats.
Mountain Goats.
What I think of every time I read the title.
And I think of I Have No Mouth, But I Must Scream.
Yeah. Very different thoughts. Yours is like on topic. It's like a horror story.
I do love that song though, which is also depressing as hell. So it's on topic.
On topic.
Go listen to "I Woke Up New" by the Mountain Goats.
Go listen to Mountain Goats in general.
Yeah, we missed that concert.
Don't break my. You know what concert we did miss? Set it off.
And I missed Hatsune Miku. Okay, I missed a lot of things.
You didn't prioritize our friendship. Anyway, that was "I Woke Up Today with No Face" by Brad Whittingham. Thank you so much for your piece. It's genuinely hard to give critique on this because it was so good. We have 4 seconds.
Happy birthday, me for tomorrow. Outro.
SwinRadio.
SwinRadio.
You are